Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello, welcome into the GSMC Technology Podcast on a Thursday today here. My name is Tom Dougherty, your host. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. As today is going to be kind of a smartphone day, as I have some specs to go over for the Google Pixel 3 and the Google Pixel 3 XL, as well as, of course, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, which we talked about on Tuesday a little bit regarding the price point that had kind of leaked out. And we did some conversions because, of course, the prices were leaked out in euros, or actually pounds. I think they were pounds sterling, and we decided to we did the transition and found out that the 528 gigabyte is going to be about $1,500, and the smaller 128 one will be around I think it's like $1,100 for that guy. So some decisions to make. I mean, some people I know I've already talked to some people like, nope, I'm gonna get it, no problem. Just that's kind of a no-brainer for me. I'm like, I'm just gonna get it when it comes out. So I mean, we'll go over the specs and what to expect from these two new phones. I don't know. I'm starting to like these Google phones a lot more. We know that Windows, obviously, Microsoft tried to do this very thing and go towards the phone, creating their own phones and kind of be the next Apple. Windows Phone didn't really work out. Google Pixel seems to be working out. So, I mean, once we get once we get everything kind of out in the open, where Google, I don't know, it's not going to be the same as any Apple products. Is waiting for a Google tablet to come out. Yeah, where's the Google Pixel tablet? I'm sure that's going to come. I would be shocked to see if that was something that wasn't going to be available for us eventually. But right now, it's all about the phones, and it's all about making sure that these phones are going to function the way we want. And I mean, that's the thing. That's the good thing about options, is that everybody's going to have their preference, and everybody can meet their preference. I mean, these phones are, if you want to stick with Apple, if you've worked with the iOS operating system for iOS for a while, then you probably will just stick with Apple. There's no real reason to mess around with it. Don't break it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situation. But then, of course, there's those people who were deterred from Samsung by the whole debacle that happened during the last release, and the phones, the batteries having issues, obviously. And those people may have turned to Apple, or could have turned to the Google phones, I think, or if you wanted to stay away from Android, that's why you would probably. That's the thing, because Google's like, they have their fingers in everything. They have their own phones, but then they have the operating system on all the other phones that aren't iPhones. So they have a good little interconnected web there for themselves to try and get some more, as most revenue as possible. I mean, is that what it's all about? It's about making money for these people. I mean, Google, obviously, like we've talked about multiple times on the show, they assume a trade-off. I mean, they've been kind of called on the carpet a little bit, at least in Europe. I mean, nobody's really that worried about it. It's not really making that many waves here regarding the sanctions or any fines that have to do with Google pushing their own kind of apps on their phones, or with the Android service, instead of giving it a free reign. Just kind of looking as it goes along here. I think that this is going to be obviously we're kind of set up for the future. We're going to have a big three. I mean, we're seeing HTC kind of go by the wayside. LG, I don't think LG's not going anywhere. LG sells TVs, so I think they're just fine. They sell a lot of products, and they sell a lot of products, and they should be just fine as we go along here. But Google, I think their phones are going to be exceedingly popular, especially for those who don't want to go iPhone, but then also have had issues with some of the Samsung stuff as well. So if you are one of those people, I would definitely check out this Google Pixel phone, because it looks, number one, they actually look really cool. They're copying, obviously, yes, they copy the iPhone a little bit, a little much, definitely, as you can tell here. But of course, right when I'm trying to figure everything out here, all my stuff goes down, and all my articles that I had pulled up, and all the specs are gone. Hold on, just bear with me here. We're going this way, and we're going to get all this stuff up for you guys. But continuing it, I mean, it's all right. We can just kind of do a little commentary in this segment before we get into the nuts and bolts of this stuff, and just how, I mean, when we're going to get the iPhones pretty soon here. So, I mean, yeah, you see new smartphones up there. You're like, oh, it's only August. Yeah, it's only August. So obviously that's not quite to the smartphone level yet. But we are going to get to a point where we're going to have all three of these phones to talk about, and maybe even ones from other companies as well. I mean, I remember back in the summer, earlier this summer, we were talking about the phones that have the recessed camera, and the phones that's going to have the two screens, a flip phone that has two screens. It's funny because, I mean, I think we're never really going to go away from the slate. I don't think we're ever going to go away from the slate. I mean, yeah, you can really hope and wish that eventually you're going to be able to have a phone that flips up and has two screens on top and bottom. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible, but I think just more moving parts, the more hinges, the more different things you put on a phone, the bigger problem it has. This thing has to be literally, they have to idiot proof it. I'm telling you that. But statistically, they have to go through all these different tests, because they know statistically there is going to be an issue where they have some people who just don't treat their phones the right way, or just don't know how to, either aren't savvy, or it is what it is. They have to make it user friendly. And I mean, we're getting to a point here where these phones are obviously becoming even more user friendly, and the addition of all the personal assistants and the AI that we've talked about exhaustingly on this show for sure. You could find out that it's going to be, we're heading down the right path. We'll just say that we're definitely heading down the right path, and we're getting to a point here where, I mean, this is just it's a scenario that is pretty cool. It's cool because, remember, the phones are big. They got small. They're going to get big again. I mean, whether it's you want the Note, or you want the Google Pixel XL, if you want a bigger phone, those are all going to come out. We're going to get likely a iPhone 10 Plus or something like that. This in September when the iPhones come out. So, all right, here we go. We'll get right to it now with the Google Pixel stuff, as everything's starting to finally come up on my screen here. But yeah, so Google Pixel, I say Google Pixel 3. I mean, obviously, Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL will give you those. These ones are more or less. This is less set in stone. So mostly more rumored stuff. But this is with the Samsung stuff. There, it has a little more support behind it. But obviously, if you get if you look at one of the Pixel 2s or Pixel 2 XLs, you'll find that it's one of the more popular phones. I mean, I don't know what popular, but it's one of the more higher rated phones when it comes to actual user. I don't know if it's really caught on with the actual market, as you still see a lot of people with Samsungs, and obviously iPhones are reign supreme. But if you're going to get a phone, if you love Android, why not get the phone that is like literally was designed for Android? Android was made first, and then these phones were made by Google to have their own homegrown kind of obviously homegrown software on it with the that's a really, really tight integration, because they don't have to work with any third-party company. You're basically taking your own operating system that you've updated and tinkered with and moved around and doing all this stuff, and now you're creating a phone that you think would bring it to light the best. So looks like on the Google Pixel 3s and 3 XLs, obviously this could be a little bit different with the next generation. It looks like Google did acquire a hardware team from HTC back in 2017, and then folded it into its own operation when they were starting to produce these the new Pixel phones. and then obviously does have the latest Android. We call it Android P. Android Pie is not what it is. Android Pie operating system, as well as new features such as multiplayer AR. And superior voice assistant. Obviously, you can't find that on any iPhones yet. We'll probably get there pretty soon, maybe in the next month. But let's go through these rumors. Not announced anything, but most of this obviously was rumors, leaks, or whatever it is. Try and get this information first. Obviously, we'll see how much it actually is, how far away it is from the truth when we get to that point. But this is a industry, a tech industry, where there's a lot of people around. A lot of people can get information, and you can start getting some information. You can start getting some news faster than you would originally think. I don't know. So it looks like that the phone with the Pixel 2 XL, there were some issues with the OLED display. It looks like they're going to be righting the ship there, as well as they're calling it a burn-in issue. Whether it's going to be something to do with the screen getting too hot, it's just another display problem. Where they're going to burn in remnants of images linger on the screen despite not being displayed. That's why I'm thinking. I'm like, there we go. It's burned. Basically, it's burned. Sometimes the screens, the images get burned onto the screen, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'm looking at this the whole time now. But it's not that big of a. I mean, it is a big deal, but they're definitely fixing it for this next phone. But this is obviously a piece with the Pixel 3. We talked about the notch it's going to be having this season. This time it's going to be coming probably in October as the Pixel XL. Remember the original Pixel XL came out October 6 of 2016, and then the 2 and the Pixel XL 2 or 2 XL. That one was exactly a year later on the same date. So I was expect early October for the next phone as well. So rumors coming out. This is a phone that I would expect it to, because of the fact that Apple has been on this already with the whole wireless charging. That these phones will likely have wireless charging on them when you do see it. So, as well as the news. I don't know how accurate this is. It would be interesting. I don't know. We could talk about a little bit how functional it would be to have front-facing speakers. And I know that the iPhones have theirs underneath the phone on the bottom. You have the front-facing speaker. So whether it's going to be, I think this is a leak from a company that makes cases, and they were going to have a Pixel 3 XL will purportedly be featuring 2 front-facing cameras and speakers as well, as there's going to be a fingerprint with the fingerprint reader still located on the back of the phone below the back-facing camera on that phone as well. So. Looks like 2 front-facing speakers is going to be interesting. So it looks on the front bottom bezel. So it looks like it's going to be near the bottom of the phone, where you normally would think a microphone would be to talk to start talking to people. You think, but we'll find out when we actually get pictures of it. But this is all, like I said, rumor has it that this is all what we're doing here. Like I said, 2 front-facing cameras, and then also front-facing speakers as well on this new Pixel phone as well. So this is what they're trying to do here. They're trying to battle with the iPhone, and that's what you're having, a Pixel. Probably, if you're going to get a premium level Pixel this year, it could even rival the iPhones coming out this year as well. So it looks like that. We're going to get this price point here, as you say, the Pixel phones 3 new Pixel phones for 2018. So I'm saying there could be this really the fact that we're getting this from this tech blogger Droid Life, as they did report that there would be 3 phones coming out this year. So you think, okay, the XL and the regular one, and then the third one could possibly be this premium Pixel. So they're talking about they could make higher end version that could compete with the iPhone X. at that $999 price point, and it'd be it could be. The 64 gigabyte Pixel 2 starts at $649, and the Pixel 2 XL starts at $849. So, I wouldn't expect. You expect it to be around maybe a little bit higher echelon, but you think that if they keep the XL and the Pixel 3 XL and the Pixel 3 by itself around those same price points, instead of raising the prices on those, you just create a better phone and raise the price on that one. That could be the way they're going. All right, we'll come back after the break and continue our talk on these new smartphones. We'll go over to Samsung as well and do that with the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Thursday today here, as we're going to go over some more stuff with these phones. And we're going both ways here. We're going to hear, obviously, it's rumors and speculation they go hand in hand, even though they're different things, and people kind of get confused on how to differentiate them. But rumors have a basis behind them, versus speculation has like hopes behind them. Usually when you speculate something, usually you're like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if that happened. So one of the speculations are, like I said, rumors. We're hearing rumors from both sides that there could be a premium Pixel, but then also rumors that we could have a cheaper Pixel, like a lower, basically what Apple's doing. They're going to be creating they're going to come out with 3 phones this year too. They're going to have what's it called again? They're going to have they haven't come out with a name for it yet, but they're going to have 3 phones coming out this year too. They're going to have the X 10 Plus, I bet you, or 10 Plus, and then they're going to have a cheaper 10. And then probably I don't know. I don't know what the names are. They're going to come with 3 phones. It's going to be the Plus for the new ones, and then another edition, obviously the 2018, another 10S, probably maybe a 10S or something like that. And then I don't know. They're going with numbers. We're going to be weird how they stylize it. And then they're going to have a cheaper phone too. So they're going to do one that's going to be more of your bargain discount phone. I mean, not discount phone, but like your more bargain phone as well. So that's kind of what's going on there. All right, back to the Pixel 3 specs. So it's going to look like the Pixel 3. This is our rumored specs for this one. The octa-core Qualcomm CPU, probably Snapdragon 845. The Adreno 630 GPU with a 2960 by 1440 pixel resolution. That's pretty good right there. And then also they're going to have it's going to be sold with the wired version of the Google Pixel Buds. They also have, obviously, we're also rumoring a wireless version as well. So that's kind of where we're going from there. And then also confirm that's going to be connecting through the USB-C through the bottom of the phone. No headphone jack on these phones either. They're going to have the support. This actually is not rumored. It's confirmed that it will support Android Pie. We'll have that preloaded on there for you, and then also the 4 gigs of RAM, wireless charging, and then black and white colors as far as now is what we've had reported as far as the specs for it as well. If you're looking for a phone that's not an Android, or it's not a Samsung or not an Apple, these ones look pretty darn cool too. At least the leaks from the screen tests or whatever, they're building the phones up. Obviously, it's going to have a notch. There is a leaked photo of the Google Pixel 3 XL in the final production with a significant, pretty big notch up front. It looks very similar to the iPhone 10. And it's giving you all these displays that I did, all the tech stuff that all the specs that I just read to you are actually in that picture on the device model, Google Pixel 3 XL with the Android 9, which is Android Pie, Qualcomm cores, and giving you all the same specs I pretty much told you. But I mean, it's obviously a rumor picture that was leaked via Twitter. Is that what it's giving me? Via Twitter or via Telegram? So there you go. Telegram, obviously, that's an interesting little service as well. I don't know if that's actually going to be lasting much longer. I'm pretty sure I have Telegram on here. Yeah, it's right there. It's kind of just basically another messaging service out there for you. All right. Getting further along here, as we're going to go back over to the Samsung side of things, away from Google, as you know. That's it for the Google Pixel. But then Samsung, obviously, this is a little more of, this is a little more set in stone of what we're probably going to be seeing coming out in the next few months. So obviously, Samsung is going to be having their Galaxy Note announcement today. Is it today or is it tomorrow? It's this week. So obviously, Hanwei comes out with a bunch of stuff as well, because they're the Huawei? That's one of the biggest, their biggest Samsung competitors as well, especially over in the Asian markets as well. So this was supposed to be. So we're looking at this. For Samsung and their rollout for the Galaxy Note announcement. It's going to be, so obviously the event, I'm pretty sure. I'm seeing an Unpacked event for Samsung 9. Unpacked event. Is it today? So it looks like obviously this is supposed to be, they're trying to go away from everything they've done before. I'm hearing reports now that it's like this is shaping it. It's turning into being the anti brother for the Galaxy Note 7 versus kind of trying to be more of its own kind of thing. And so it looks like the start time and the streaming stuff. So here we go. It's going to be, so start time was 8 a.m. tomorrow, or actually, no, wait, does it today? Because 8 a.m. today, because it says August 10th for Tokyo, 12 a.m. So it did start today at 8 o'clock. Actually, I started 7 minutes ago. There you go. And you'll be able to watch the live streams on Twitter, and then also, so YouTube will have the Samsung YouTube channel. If you missed it by the time this is uploaded, this show, it'll likely be either concluding or getting close to concluding, and you can go on Samsung's YouTube channel and likely get watch a recording of that event as well. So you can always follow our favorite tech companies on, or tech media outlets on Twitter, whether it's going to be The Verge or TechCrunch or all those kind of things we use on this show as well, to help gather information for us. I mean, there's a lot. MacRumors.com even has some stuff. NextWeb, Recode, all the kind of stuff for Wired Magazine, Wall Street Journal Tech, all that stuff are going to have information on that, especially as they're going to follow along with the thing here as well. Obviously, this is the new phablet. That word's kind of gone by the wayside because we're getting used to these big phones. I mean, I'm using a iPhone S7 or iPhone 7 Plus, 7S Plus, whatever it is. So it looks like that we're getting to this whole phablet thing. We're not really worried about it as well. All right, so getting back to what we were talking about earlier with the what to expect from these phones. Obviously, the Samsung the Note 9 looks like they have a better battery as well, and will actually have a headphone jack. It looks like it has a good resemblance to the Note 8 with the headphone jack, this USB-C port, two dual roll cameras, the fingerprint sensor on the back. All that kind of stuff's pretty much the same. Hopefully, it won't have any the same kind of issues you saw with what happened last year with these Samsung phones. But make sure that, I'm sure Samsung making sure that they're doing everything just fine. All right. it's funny that their competitor is kind of trolling them with the update of their phones. It's just interesting. All right. The Note 9 is going to be announced today. Like I said, a Note 9 today. It's trying to get away from that whole stuff where they had the issue with the Note 7. This is going to be, like I said, big screen, big battery. Comes with the stylus, slender proportions than the regular phone, but also, I mean, this is going to be something different apparently, because that was the Notes. This is funny because they're trying to go all towards this big things, giving you more and more stuff, and then it's like, oh, it didn't work. Okay, we're going to go away from it, but we're still going to do the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like, oh, this is the Note 7 was the first one with the big phone, big battery, big everything, and then we're gonna just be the anti version of that, but still give you all the big things that come with these phones. So obviously, the Note will have all those same major features as we saw with the S9 earlier this year, as well as we'll see major features and design elements as its predecessor as well. So with the Note 8, obviously there's going to be some peripheral changes, but mostly the same thing you're going to be seeing as well. And we're going to be seeing more stuff on the inside, like the first phone that's going to be, sorry, I said 528. It's 512 gigabytes actually, which will be the one that's $1,500. But this is going to be the first one that Samsung's rolling out that's with that much storage space. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's cool. Obviously, you're gonna have it's nice to have, but it's not really a good reason to have the phone. You can always buy more. I mean, there's all these cloud space now these days. You don't really need. I mean, these phones obviously you need real storage in the phone. I guess people like that, but looks like that this new Note models will have a bright yellow pen. Stylus is getting a Bluetooth update as well for some functionality that actually has not been announced. And of course, this is something that we're always going to compare it to the competitors: iPhone X Plus, the Oppo's Find X, or the Huawei's P20 Pro as well. So, I mean, they're all these competitors. I mean, Samsung is a South Korean company, and they got to do they're while they're worried. Yes, they're worried about the U.S. markets. They're very much worried about the Asian markets as well, and they have a little more competitors that we might not know about out here as much. Obviously, Apple's out there as well, but it looks like that we're going to be kind of seeing how it's going to be battled out this year. All right, moving on to this stuff regarding more Samsung, as well as some of the semantics that comes with it. Samsung, of course, looks like that it's going to be trying to, how Apple with the whole S models, everything. Samsung, they can't really get away with taking a year off, I guess, is what they're saying. Like they need to just keep pumping out all these phones, and maybe if we're seeing that this is going to be kind of a retread of the 8 with the Note 8 with the bigger storage abilities, then people aren't going to get as excited about it, because that's just the way it is right now. I'm just kind of thinking about, comparing it to Apple. Obviously, Apple had all those years where it was, okay, we have the 3G, 3GS, then the 4, then the 4S, and the 5, and the 5S, the 6, the 6S every year. I mean, that's because Apple was kind of coming out with the mid models where they were really waiting every 2 years to come out with the big flagship phone, another number, adding another number to it. But now it's going to be every year, pretty much, for both these companies, and it's going to require a lot more of just increasing improvements every year, basically. And they can't, basically, no more treading water. You have all this revenue, you have all these resources, you have all this stuff. Obviously, it's difficult to get to mass produce something of this caliber, because it's hard to get. I mean, I say all these resources, financial resources is what I meant, and sometimes it can be hard to find a manufacturer that's going to do it fast enough for you. But it looks like that, like I said, Samsung's not going to have the same leeway as Apple. They've had just too many problems. Apple has had their own problems, but it's different kinds of problems. Instead of batteries blowing up in people's faces and having their phones catch on fire, haven't happened over in Apple. That's the way it is. So it looks like that Obviously, the Galaxy Note 9 is going to be trying to raise the bar in this phablet market before, of course, in about a month, Apple's going to be coming out with their next bigger sized phone, whether it's going to be called the iPhone 10 Plus or what have you. We'll be seeing that in the next few weeks here as well. So, all right. Make sure you guys go, if you want to, it's actually happening right now live. The Samsung Unpacked event is happening right now, and will be, of course, recorded, and I'm sure it'll be on YouTube after it is concluded. So we're going to take a quick break and come back for another segment. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Thursday today here, as we're going to go over some stuff regarding Sony and the fact that they have sold 5 million units, 5 million consoles, PS4, and they have come out with a limited edition PS4 Pro that's going to be celebrating that 500 millionth copy or console or unit or whatever, however you want to call it, to sell. To celebrate how many PlayStations they've sold. I mean, this has got to be. It can't be. I mean, of course, Sony launched first PlayStation way back in 1995, 94 in Japan. It sold 523.3 million PlayStation systems worldwide, and of course, what's better than creating a limited edition PlayStation Pro? It's going to be looking pretty cool as well. It looks like it's going to be like a navy blue with gold inlay on the logos and stuff, and it's going to be coming with 2 terabyte hard drive, DualShock 4 controller, and the PlayStation camera and vertical stand. So that's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be. Are they giving me a price point for this right now? I don't think so. I don't think they're giving me a price point for the the Pro. I mean, of course, limited edition. Yeah, they're not giving me. Okay, so. They give me one price, $668.98. Is that if you add everything else? If you add everything all together, is what they're saying. I mean, yeah. Gold wireless for $100. Yeah, I guess that's what they're telling me for this one. All right. Well, that's kind of was just a little update thing. I was like, Sony's doing that, and the fact they've sold that many consoles. I mean, that's also pretty cool too. We'll see what happens when Xbox does the same thing. I mean, this is PS4, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Xbox has just Xbox 360, and Xbox One. That's it. I mean, they both came out with the, better editions, whether it was the Xbox One X or the PlayStation Pro, or then if you want to go back the other way, you can get the Xbox One S, which I think was a great idea by Microsoft to do that, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to see. They're not giving me a price point on just the. The PS4 Pro starts at $400 at Walmart. Stock is limited on that one, anyways. But if you want, so it looks like if you want one, Sony's pricing at $499 for the limited edition, and separate to that, you can buy, of course, the controller for $670. I mean, it comes with it, but whatever, $70, and then $100 for the headset as well. So. There you go. I mean, if you just want the controller, limited edition controller, you can pay that. You can just get one of those for $70, plus tax, of course. All right. getting into some more stuff regarding, I just wanted to go over some more Android stuff, of course, with Android P being available now, especially with it being preloaded on these new phones that are coming out, especially. So we have to pay attention to all that kind of stuff regarding what's going to be, how everybody's going to kind of like. I mean, this Android P obviously is still kind of going through its kind of, it's baby steps of its life. So, I mean, of course, it's going to be kind of just evaluated continuously, especially as these new phones come out. So Android P obviously now is officially Android Pie, and obviously if you shouldn't overlook some of these features that we talked about, like being able to connect up to 5 Bluetooth devices at once. So it looks like that you could switch seamlessly between devices, and if you do get a phone call, Google says the Android P will route it to any Bluetooth speaker that is capable of handling calls. So you look at, you can connect up to 5 at once, and you can start your own little party as well. It will remember your preference for a speaker for each device as well, regarding volume. And then it's also added a rotation button, to the navigation bar that will pop up if you need it to rotate over to a different device. And also rotate your screen as well if you want to prevent your phone from switching between portrait and landscape. It's kind of like that lock screen mode as well. So it will pop up if you need it, and then we'll obviously, if you want to auto rotate, you can just hit that button. It will work like that. And so, like we talked about that screen app with the way that they're going to be doing with the iPhones, Android's going to be having the same kind of thing where you're going to easily be able to see which apps have been interrupting you the most frequently, and also apps that have sent you notifications the most as well. So if you got a random notification from an app that's been annoying you, or you're getting a useless notification or something like that, you can just go to settings and then app notifications in that settings, and then tap on notifications, and the screen will show you which apps that have recently displayed a notification to you. As well, it will suggest notifications that you frequently dismiss as well, so you can kind of give you an idea, hey, you don't really pay attention to this stuff, you shouldn't get notifications from this app anyway. So that kind of tells you as well. And then also the accessibility menu has been upgraded and changed around a little bit. So it's a new accessibility menu that will get its own icon in your navigation bar, and will be helping you with shortcuts, as well as triggering the Google Assistant and opening up the app switcher, taking screenshots, all that kind of stuff like that. That's actually one of the cool features, I think, from the commercials, at least I'm seeing, and then also for the new phones, is like you could say, hey Google, take a screenshot, and it'll do it like wireless for you. I don't know if Siri has that function yet. I can ask Siri maybe eventually. All right. Also, like I said, lockdown mode will actually block any fingerprint or face authentication, no matter what. So if you have seen that with the lockdown mode, you can see that right along with the screenshot option in your navigation bar over to the right of the phone as well. So it's called lockdown mode. And of course, we'll exit out lock screen, and then we'll hide any notifications, hide anything. So if you're if you're going to be giving your phone to somebody, or if you're going to be, away from your phone for a certain amount of time, you might want to use that lockdown mode, and it'll help you out with your security. As well as mobile hotspots, that's going to turn off if there's nothing connected to it. That's pretty standard, honestly. They're finally going to get a actual magnifying glass you're going to get to be able to highlight text as well. With that magnifying glass, it's actually going to pop up a little bit and blow up the words a little bit for you as well. All right. Coming up here, the earbuds, obviously no auto lag as well with those earbuds, and as well as the ambient display. When the phone is ambient, will now show weather and your battery level just on the screen of the phone. All right. Lastly, before we close off the show today, I want to go over some stuff regarding, I don't know if everybody's heard, but Apple has finally decided to get involved. I think I talked about maybe a little bit on Tuesday, how Alex Jones If nobody knows who Alex Jones is, you can go watch a couple episodes of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and you'll find out how crazy that dude is. But he has his own show, just like this one, a podcast. But he has a network of them, and they're called InfoWars. And now he has had 5 of his shows that he has taken off, the InfoWars shows, taken off of Apple Podcasts. And I'm pretty sure Facebook's done the same thing in YouTube as well. So, Facebook's had to delete like 5 of his pages because they constantly post hate speech or things that don't follow the guidelines of the Apple guidelines. So, you got to be able to have some rules, and if you don't follow the rules, you're gonna get taken off. And obviously, he lost this whole big thing over just being stubborn, I think. And trying to, obviously he's popular, and people watch or listen to the show, and I think he actually has a simulcast of it too. So, it is pretty scary, but it is what it is with what people want to try and content they want to get, and it now looks like that they're not going to be able to get it because you can't go back and you can't even get the archives anymore of his show.
Come on, this guy's. I don't want to try and you shouldn't listen to him. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're your own person. You can do whatever you want, but that guy's. Really, the guy's crazy. The guy's a crazy man, and that show did not breed anything but negativity and hate and deceitfulness, and it's just not that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is kind of interesting though, because we're getting more and more reports coming out from other news outlets. Like Politico is actually saying that we shouldn't be banning Alex Jones. Obviously, social media sites have been moving in mass to try and ban him altogether, but we don't want to ban him altogether. Obviously, it's not really a new viewpoint in this country. It's more of he's a paranoia kind of person. He spreads paranoia, he spreads fear. He has all these disaster ready kits. He has he has all these fake health stuff and like that, because he's trying to basically, it's scare tactics, trying to freak people out. And it's like, hey, you need to buy this to be safe, basically, as well. But what he's done, obviously, this is not the first time we've done this, and I think that the fact that he's being called out isn't the worst thing, but it will set precedent, and then eventually it's going to be kind of a witch hunt, and we'll turn into our own worst enemies here on the people who are trying to stop this speech as well. So it's just interesting. Obviously, we've known about him for a long time, and obviously this whole sudden decision is, some people are going to be thinking it's quite like a knee-jerk reaction kind of thing, where maybe we're acting too soon here, and he really is somebody that that shouldn't be as ostracized as much. I'm not going to tell you that he needs to have his stuff put back on the Apple stuff. No, he needs to he does need to adjust his tone maybe a little bit and change his kind of his attitude a little bit. But the whole disaster readiness stuff, and that's just, it is what it is. If people want to watch it, people want to listen to it, that's a free country. They can do whatever they want. And there are companies that have their own private rules and have their own ability to do whatever they want, because that's their own privately run company. And the fact that you're using their service to put out your podcast is at the risk of their own risk. So if he is going to do that kind of stuff, then he's going to see that kind of result as well. So obviously, the whole problem is going too hard, and the whole point is for us to be inclusive, and everybody's equal, and everybody's going to be getting the things they need to get to be able to have to sustain a happy life. And if you're going to be starting to just lash out all of a sudden, lash out on the people who lash out, they're going to turn into one of them. Like I said, become your own worst enemy. And even the Southern Poverty Law Center had a mission of trying to label these conservative hate groups, but also they know that there is a slippery slope, and things can get out of hand quickly if we try and to act a little too quickly and too fast, too much. You can go on their website, go on Southern Poverty Law Center's website. You could find they have a whole map of hate groups all over the place. They know where they are, but are they actively trying to destroy them? No, they're just watching them. It's monitoring them and making sure nothing crazy happens as well. So, all right,
All right, that'll wrap it up for the show today, guys. We'll cut it right here as we're going to come back on Tuesday. So everybody have a good weekend. Go watch the Unpacked event for Samsung. If you're a Samsung user and you want to see those new notes, I'm sure, actually, it's only 8:30 right now. I'll probably have this uploaded in the next few minutes, and you'll be able to probably catch the tail end of that while you're listening to the show, or you can watch it on YouTube as well. So everybody have a good weekend. Have a good Thursday, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.